Morning, everybody. Well, it's another great day out here in the garage, and got done with my breakfast. You see, I cooked me a couple of eggs on top of the wood heater in my old pot. Turned out real good. Had my breakfast. On my second cup of coffee, so I'm beginning to feel like a human. By the way, how about don't tell my wife that I've got her cup out here? She gets really upset when she knew I had this cup out here. So y'all don't mention it. Alright guys, so today's video is going to be about the Smithy, and this video is going to be about just a little initial review about the Smithy, some things I like and don't like about it. If you remember in one of my original videos on this machine, I said this, and I will be honest with you, if this thing's junk, I'm going to tell you it's junk. If it's warped, if it don't make it, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest with what this thing does. I'm going to tell you the truth about this machine, whether it's good or bad. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the good and the bad so far with this machine. First of all, I want to recognize some of the folks who've been commenting on my videos. Of course, Rick Gillespie, one of my former co-workers, good friend of mine, he's commented on just about every video, man. I really appreciate it, Rick. Cody Cooper, another one of my co-workers, he's commented again on some videos about the axe. In particular, he commented the other day where we put the handle in it, restored the old double bit true temper axe that I got from Dennis Helton. Zach Riddle, another friend of mine and co-worker, he's commented on the 49 Chevy video, the intro video we did the other day. Mr. David Marlowe, he commented and was asking for more Smithy videos, so you're going to get you a couple of videos coming right up on that. Candace Teal, who by the way is my daughter, she commented on the 49 Chevy video. Love you, girl. Of course, my sweet wife, and she's on YouTube as Wills Might Know. She said when she went to type in her name, she missed the A or something, and normally it would have been Willa Might Know, but anyhow, Wills Might Know. She comments on just about every video. Love you, baby. Thank you. She always supports me. She might not support me if she sees this cup in this video. All right, and Ray Falcone, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Ray. He's been good, man. He made a big, long comment on the 49 Chevy video, how it reminded him of a car he had in his youth, and put in some comments in there about his car and the things that were done to it. Man, that's fantastic, Ray. I'm glad that that video kind of touched a chord with you. And your 55 is beautiful, by the way. And he also commented on the bench that we made for the Smithy and the decimal chart video, which had got about 30 views, whatever, but he commented on it, and I know it wasn't much to see, but it was just something to make a video on. So thank you, Ray, for all your comments. Thank you, everybody else, for your comments. I really appreciate it. Hey, keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. I'll make sure that I recognize you in every video after you leave your comments. I appreciate it. All right, so the first thing that I love about the machine was not the machine itself, but it was the company and how fast the dang thing came. So I ordered this machine on Monday, and on Wednesday it was here. Things I like about the machine. Number one is the amount of backlash that this machine had. When I was doing some research before buying the machine, a lot of the complaints on the Smithy machines was the backlash, and they just had ridiculous amounts of backlash, and you had to spend a lot of time getting that out to have a good machine. This machine had very little backlash. From the factory, out of the box, was minimal. In fact, I've done nothing to the backlash on this machine. Nothing. It has a look, but every machine has some. Now, I'm going to use it some more, and maybe in about 6 months, I'll take some time and take out what little bit it does have, but I mean, it is minimal. We're only talking like 3-4 thousandths of backlash, and that's it. Another thing that I like about the machine is it's pretty accurate. It doesn't have a DRO on it or anything like that, and in the future I might get one to put on it, but I don't do a lot of critical machining, I'm just out here in the garage. But I have done some machining and was able to get it to within 1/1000ths without any trouble. Something that I did machine and was able to achieve pretty good accuracy was I made these spacers to lay on top of the bed here. When I didn't have the vise on, I needed to raise my work up. And I just took some square tubing and put it in there and used a fly cutter. And I was able to get these two right here within about a half a thousandths of each other. And that's fantastic on a little machine like this. The other thing I like is it's got real good smooth operation. It's not super noisy, it's not clanging and banging. Everything's good. I mean, it just runs back and forth. I love it. All right, something else I like about the machine is that it comes with a really good instruction booklet. This thing has got a lot of pages. There's a lot to take in and read. I really like that I got the 40-inch model. I've many times run this carriage all the way down to take my work on and off, or to do my measuring and setting up. Now I know you can swing the head out of the way to do that, but you know, if you got the head locked down, you've got your height set and all that where you want it, you don't want to be monkeying with this. So you can run that carriage down and you can take your work on and off, make your adjustments, measurements and stuff down there. I just love that. Don't regret getting the 40-inch model. All right, so that's some of the things that I like about the machine. Now I'm going to talk about the 2 or 3 things that I don't like about the machine. The tooling that they sell with the machine, it's just, you know, like some made in China stuff. It's not made in America. It's not real the good top quality, and it's not going to cut any kind of tough metal for long. So when you get the machine, the drill chuck and the chuck for the tailstock, they're not on this arbor already, okay? And that's not a big deal. In fact, on their video, they say,
arbor portion and put it in the freezer for about an hour. That'll shrink it just a little bit. Pull it out, put it in here, give it a good whack with a mallet to lock it into place, and when that temperature equalizes, it's on there good and solid.
Yeah, just put it in the freezer and just whack it in there with a hammer, all right? Sounds good, right? But what you end up with, what I ended up with on both chucks, not just one, but on both of them, was that when I went to drill a hole with this one, the dang drill bit was doing this, okay? So that chuck and this chuck had to be trued up. And how do you do that? I hate to say it, but you just have to do it with a big friggin' hammer. So what I did, man, was I set my dial indicator up on the side of the chuck and I turned it and marked where the high side was and rotated it around 180 degrees and put a brass hammer up against it and a big hammer just whack. Same thing on this, put it in the tailstock, and they're tight enough where it didn't have any play, but I could still turn it. So don't set a dial indicator on it and marked it and just had to do that. I had to hit it 3 or 4 times, put the brass hammer on it, hit it with the big hammer until it got where it was close. And so I got this one here within a thousandths, and I got this one to within a thousandths. But they don't tell you that stuff on their videos or in their book. So be prepared. If you don't true up your chucks, you're going to be disappointed. All right, I'm going to save my biggest complaint for last, and that's this tailstock right here. This tailstock has issues. All right, so this tailstock, it has a number 3 Morse taper shaft or bore. Okay, number 3 Morse taper bore. All right, and this is the chuck that comes for the tailstock, and that's a number 3 Morse taper right there. But if you'll notice, it's missing the tang on the end of it out here. Now, this is a number 2 Morse taper, and I've got a bunch of number 2 Morse taper drill bits. And if you'll notice, it has a tang on the end. That's the standard. And 90% of the dang tailstocks have, you know, a long barrel, and they have a tang, a slot in there for the tang, like right here. See that slot there? That should be down inside that barrel, so that when you insert your drill bit, the tang slides into this slot so that it can't turn in there. It won't spin in the Morse taper. It locks it in. Okay? Smithy, in their wisdom, they don't have the slot in there for the tang. And if you, in my case, I had a bunch of number 2 drill bits, so I had a number 3 adapter with a tang on the end of it, and it wouldn't go in there. It would go in so far and then stop, and it would just spin there. So I emailed the good folks at Smithy and asked them about it. And of course their immediate response was, well, you know, screw this thing out some. Because if you back it all the way in, it wants to eject the the drill bit or the chuck or whatever out. And I said, I've got it, you know, screwed out 1 inch. I said, I've shined the flashlight in there. There's no slot for the tank. So after a day or so, I finally get an email back from the guy. I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter. And he says, well, I talked to my service manager, and he says that they used to have the slot for the tang, but they did away with that. And so you have to cut the tang off whatever it is you're trying to put in there. Well, in my case, it was just the adapter so that I could put my drill bits in it. You can see there, I had to cut the tang off. So you cut the tang off, it goes in there good, okay? But it doesn't have that slot, and that tang keeps it from spinning. If you get this in a big enough bind, it'll spin, okay? So when they told me that, I wasn't happy with that. I mean, I know they can't change it, but so I asked if they'd give me a call. They never did. Never did call me. So I had to cut the tang off of my little adapter. But imagine if you had a full set of drill bits that were number 3 taper that you wanted to put in here, you'd have to cut the tang off of every single one of them. And I don't know about you, but that's a bunch of BS. So bear that in mind, guys. If you want one of these machines, this tailstock, that Morse taper, is not going to have the slot for the tang. And if you already have some tooling, and it's going to have the tang on it, okay, because that's the standard, you're going to have to cut that friggin' tang off and ruin your tooling, in my opinion. I feel like I've ruined this adapter, cutting it off. I mean, it'll work for this machine. All right, so that's my biggest beef, okay, is that. I feel like they could do a much better job on this. And really, what I think they need to do is, if you get the 40-inch model, you should get a bigger tailstock because there's more room for it. If you get the 24-inch model, then the tailstock's up here, and you ain't got room for a big, long tailstock. But on the 40-inch model, you got plenty of room. And they should offer an upgrade here or something. Even the adapter that Smithy sells to extend this out, it's got the tang on it. In fact, I'm going to get a picture off their website and put in there right here. So you see, even their adapter has a tang on it that, guess what, you're going to have to cut off when you get it home or to get it shipped to you. You're going to have to cut the tang off of their adapter. Crazy. So something else that they didn't tell you about or tell me about when I bought the machine was, you get this chip tray, this pan that it sits in. Well, it won't sit in it. You have to space the machine up. Well, if you notice in the other videos, I had the thing hanging in the air, and I didn't have time to go figure out spacers and all that then. They should have told me that ahead of time. And it wasn't in their quick start guide either that I could find anywhere, that you was going to have to put spacers under the bolt holes to raise this thing up. Let me show you here, right here where I'm talking about. All right, so you see right here how the machine would not sit in the tray. And so you got to cut these big spacers to put underneath the bolts for this thing to sit in the tray. So I just real quickly snatched the tray out, and I just took my cutter and cut the tray on each side and flattened it down, bend it over until later when I may unbolt it and raise it up. And I'll take the tray and I'll bend it back up, weld it back up. But that kind of irritated me that they didn't tell you that hey, we provide you a nice tray, but it ain't going to sit in it. All right, so I'm going to end it on a positive note. Probably the thing that impressed me the most about the purchase of the machine, other than how fast it came, was that when it came, everything was there. There was not one missing part. There wasn't one thing that was bent or broken or out of place, damaged, skint, nothing. This thing was awesome right out of the crate. And that amazed me, and I'm sure it's amazing to you too. It's hard to buy anything anymore and it's not missing a part or something broken or, So, the $1 million question is, right now, knowing what you know, what you've experienced so far, would you buy it again? Sure I would. Absolutely would. So I hope that you watch this video, and if you're thinking about getting one of these machines, you'll learn something from this. You'll know a little bit more about what you're going to be getting into, what to expect, and I hope this helps you. All right, so please leave your comments. If you got any questions about this thing, what I've done or what I've discovered it can and can't do, whatever, please just shoot me a comment, and I'll get an answer back to you as quick as I can.
Hey, that's mine. Thank you. This is my mug.